Hi, in this particular video, I am focusing on 10 questions on PfMP exam governance domain. As you might already know based on our previous 10 questions that we also have a specific program designed to support your PfMP preparation. In case you want to get more assistance than just these videos, you can connect with us and we can share the details of our complete program. Our program helps you in practicing all domains one by one with the help of 50 questions test, and we also have a full length test which makes you ready for your PfMP exam. Now moving forward, let's talk about little bit about governance domain and then we look into the 10 questions. The governance domain, as you can see from your PfMP exam content outline, I'm sure you are aware of a document called exam content outline, which you can download from PMI page where you get PfMP details, same page where PfMP details are present, the ECO can be downloaded. And here you see that governance domain has a 5 task and it contributes to 20% of your exam questions. Yeah. So since we have a 170 questions, so you can roughly expect around 35 to 40 questions may come from this particular domain. The governance domain focuses on establishing the governance model. So you can expect questions talking about what is included in the governance model, what is the utility of the governance model, how frequently you should refer to the governance model. It also includes developing portfolio management plan. Sometimes when you come from project program management mindset, you may not relate the governance domain also includes portfolio management planning. Yeah. So from a PfMP exam perspective, preparing the portfolio management plan is also a governance activity, approving the portfolio, taking care of changes in the portfolio approvals, authorization, that all is a part of a governance. Authorization part is a governance domain. Overall, governance domain ensures that we remain strategically aligned and we are doing something which help us in achieving our portfolio objectives. So yes, I'm not getting into each and every task. You should refer to them. Reading these tasks are useful because sometimes you get question which is directly coming from these languages. We look into a sample 10 questions which helps you in getting ready for a governance domain now. Okay, question number 11. You are a portfolio manager. The steering committee is convening to review the prioritization of a new portfolio component. ROI analysis has already been completed for each components. What should be the steering committee focus on to influence the prioritization process? Yeah. So in a way, what we are understanding is that how should steering committee prioritized or approve when they are approving based on your recommendation, what they should consider. In a way, it is also indirectly connected to what kind of criteria we should use in order to approve the prioritization recommended by the portfolio manager. That way we can consider it. So let's see what are the options. Conduct a risk probability and impact assessment for each component. Steering committee doing that will be too detailed. Yeah. Assess the accuracy of components financial assumptions. Possible candidate, but this is something you should be doing it because you are recommending and getting details for the various portfolio components. Confirming the components aligned with organization goals and objectives looks good. Whenever alignment to strategic objective and goals is coming, that option becomes candidate option. If you just get this thing in mind, 10 plus questions will get right in your PfMP exam. Identify component with insufficient organizational resources. So you are saying, this component has less people. We are not focusing on that. So overall, yes, you can consider your resource availability, your strength, your resources, financial resources and other stuff as well. But when we are looking for what is the role of a steering committee, you can say, oh, as a portfolio manager, I bring my analysis in front of them. They look at it. They probably want to apply their strategic thinking because they have a bigger a view than a portfolio manager. And then they say, okay, is it following the prioritization model which we agreed upon? Is it something which is really advancing our portfolio, our organization strategy? It keeps the alignment and we go with that. Yeah? So that way, it is easy to conclude option C in this particular case because it helps us in ensuring the alignment. So yes, it maps to task 5, but I'm not explaining the task 5 in detail. Once you study these tasks, you will find it very easily that yes, this is relatable to a particular task. Question number 12. Within the context of portfolio management, what is the role of portfolio management governing body? Looks very simple question, but don't underestimate it. You can get such kind of questions. See, the terminology, artifact, player are limited in PfMP exam. So whenever we have a small player coming in all our content like a governance group, governance body, you can expect there could be a question which is just asking what this guy is expected to do, what this group is expected to do. Yeah. So yes, we are just trying to identify what is the role of a governance body out of 4 options. Option 1, make decision on which program or project to fund in order to increase profit and reduce cost. Looks something okay, yeah, not that bad, but too much detailed, ROI oriented, one criteria oriented, yeah, because it's not necessary that you make all the decisions based on increase profit and reduce cost, but yes, there is a possibility. Let's see option B. Ensure that selected component aligned with strategy, reduce cost and benefits customer. Looks better. Yeah, that's something I need to ensure that whatever we are doing, it should align to the strategy because the strategic alignment word is coming. Great. Access portfolio performance and make decisions about resource availability. Uh, Overall, yes, but why to limit to resource? Yeah, resource availability is not something, the only thing which I am expected to do. I need to make sure whatever we do ensure strategy, and I need to keep eye on that. Yeah, I need to give a appropriate oversight. That's the governance body role. Option D, evaluate portfolio performance, looks good, and make decisions regarding resource investment and prioritization. Let's compare option B and D. So the B is basically focusing on selected component aligned with strategy, reduce cost and benefits customer. Not a bad idea. Yeah, that's there. But the D is more holistic in nature. Yeah, the D talks about that I am expected to evaluate portfolio performance, make decisions regarding resource investment and prioritization. So in that case, I can choose option D. Now, this particular thing, yeah, is also aligned to task 1. Yeah, you can say that define and establish governance model, including the structure, the policies, the decision making roles, responsibility, rights, and authority in order to support effective decision making and achieve strategic goal. So we can say this is something is the overall idea. Yeah, it is just not about approving the components. Yeah, and because of that reason, I can say, yeah, the overall the governance body is expected to do a bigger oversight, and that's why I go with option D in this particular case. So whenever you are reading in your exam and you see options are right, then you read the another option also, don't move forward. And when you see more than one options are coming right, then you know that I need to do critical comparison. There is a possibility out of 4 you can zero into 2 first, and then you compare, which one is including more aspects, which one is specifically addressing what is discussed in the question, and based on that I make my choices. And again, you may disagree with my choices also, and we can have a conversation in our comment section. Question number 13. You are a portfolio manager. A stakeholder in your portfolio refuses to approve a minor modification request, stating that approval change request is not part of their role. Which section of the portfolio management plan should you review to validate the claim? Yeah. So say one thing is clear. This question is clearly saying that you need to look for something which is there in your portfolio management plan. Yeah. Just by using that trick, you can ignore 2 options, because optimize portfolio and manage strategic change is a name of processes. And you can get these kind of choices in the exam. They are not randomly created. Yeah. I could make this question more tricky, but I wanted to make it like this because you really get a complexity which is equivalent to your real exam. So I can say optimizing portfolio and managing strategic change is a process, so I can easily ignore. Then I left with governance model and portfolio optimization model. So I know that there is a clear cut understanding that I need to define roles and responsibility and decision making authority in a place which is called governance model. So that way I can easily choose option B. I can definitely get into the details of the task number 1, where I learned that governance model is expected to define structure, policy, decision making, roles and responsibility. That way I can find the answer without even looking at an option as well. But many a time when you are not very clear, looking at the alternatives in your PfMP exam is useful. Usually the exams questions are not that much verbal. You may not get more than 5 lines. It is not coming with a big story. Most of the questions will be 4 or 5 lines only. 3 lines questions are also many. So that way you will have uh, no shortage of time. You can definitely read and compare various options, provided you don't take a break in between, long breaks in between, because you know that overall you have 4 hours and there is no break time. But if you take break time, the time keeps running. Yeah. Question number 14. As a portfolio manager, you are developing the portfolio management plan. Okay. This plan defines how the portfolio will govern and manage throughout its life cycle, obviously. Yeah, so I made it a little clear. I could just say, I can remove the word portfolio management plan, and I'm just saying, as a portfolio manager, you are making a plan to define how portfolio will govern and manage throughout its life cycle. Yeah, so that statement can also be there in the questions. Then you know that it is talking about portfolio management plan. Now, which of the following item is most likely to be a portfolio management plan? You can get a question with a one-liner also, yeah, where it is just asking which of the following is a part of portfolio management plan. Such kind of questions are expected to be there. All popular artifacts, yeah, like your portfolio strategic plan, portfolio charter, portfolio roadmap, portfolio management plan, portfolio governance plan, portfolio performance management plan, risk management plan, communication or information management plan. All these things are expected to show up. So you can make a list of all the artifacts and says what all sections it has. If you have that clarity, in general, by just doing elimination also you can find out. But if you have that clarity, many questions will get right, yeah, just by that simple thing. So let's see which of the following is a part of a portfolio management plan. Roles and responsibility, yes. Yeah, governance model, escalation procedures. So we can say, yeah, they are basically part of governance model, which is part of portfolio management plan. Yes. Risk tolerance and governance threshold, expected to be there. Yeah, that's there. Yeah. Project reporting formats, to detail at a component level. So whenever in the alternatives you have a component level detail, you know it is likely to be a wrong option, because at a portfolio level, I don't want to get into components level formatting. Yeah, it could be there in a communication management plan of for that particular portfolio, not that particular component, not a portfolio, that particular component. So project A communication management plan should talk about what kind of formats of reports they want to use, but not at a portfolio level. So that way, anything which comes at a component level makes your choices easy. Change control and management, part of a part of a portfolio management plan. Key performance indicator, yes, it's a subsection of portfolio performance management plan, which is a part of portfolio management plan. So I can say so. Lesson learned, again, not. Yeah, so when I see lesson learned, I can say, oh, that's not a part of portfolio management plan. They are part of assets. Yeah, so usually organization level lesson learns are part of organization process asset. They are not as a part of a portfolio management plan. Prioritization model, yes. Communication procedures, yes. Yeah, it will be a part of a communication management plan for a portfolio, which is also inside the portfolio management plan. Vendor contracts, no. Yeah. So say I try to make it tricky as much as possible, and that is also something you can see. Sometime because of that, you may see two options are right. But when you see two options are right, critically see out of alternative given, there could be a one which is not a right or appropriate choice. And that way, in all the option B, C, D, I created two things which are expected to be part of a portfolio management plan. But in the option A, everything is defined as per content of portfolio management plan. Now, somebody will say, how do I identify what is there in a portfolio management plan? You can definitely use portfolio management standard. It defines all those typical detail. Exactly the content of portfolio management plan will vary from a context to context. Yes, we can't dictate that this all should be there. But from exam perspective, the generic things which are frequently seen are listed in your portfolio management standard. Third edition, fourth also talks about it, and you can definitely look into ECO, exam content outline, because it also lists down. So here you can see, and it gives you a list. And as I said before, sometime keeping these lists in a mind, for various artifact is useful, and you can see everything which is given in the question is coming from here, and you can expect such questions in the exam. Moving forward, question number 15. And do share your observations if you are already done with the exam, and then you can say, okay, this preparation style is good, we should prepare like this particular way. That much information you can share. I know the questions are confidential, you should not be talking about I got this question or not. That something is PMI is not allowing, but as an approach, is it right to prepare like this? That is definitely we can discuss. Now, question number 15, you are developing the portfolio management plan. The plan must guide how portfolio execute, govern, and optimize evaluation will be carried out in alignment with the organization strategy. Great. Which of the following would you most likely rely on which when creating this plan? Okay. So this question is saying you are preparing a portfolio management plan. Which of the following would you most likely rely on when creating this plan? In a different word, they are asking what are the inputs you will use when you are preparing the portfolio management plan. Now, there is a possibility they may not explicitly say inputs because, in general, checking purely input output looks little low standard. Yeah, but you can definitely get a different language, and if you have awareness of input output, some questions can get easy. But again, understanding is needed because there could be a question which is checking that understanding as well, not just memorization alone. So you know what all goes inside the portfolio management planning. So all the things which you do at a strategic level comes into a portfolio management planning. Your enterprise environmental factors and all those assets also comes as a portfolio management planning. But you can definitely use elimination also to find the answer. Let's see. So yes, I do need to use strategic plan. I need to use portfolio charter. I need to use enterprise environmental factor. Looks good. Portfolio roadmap, yes. Inventory of work usually comes as a part of portfolio strategic plan, but it could be considered as a separate content as well. But it's there. Yeah, we are considering that. Portfolio reports, not necessary. Yeah, I'm developing a portfolio management plan. It is not something I am modifying or evaluating the change. So reports are not needed. Yeah, so there is a negative word. Portfolio process assets, yes. Vendor contracts, not needed. Lesson learned from a previous projects can be. Yeah, not projects, previous portfolio experiences. Project is too detailed, but still I can use lesson learned as an organization process asset. But vendor contracts, historical vendor contracts probably I can consider, yeah, as a learning tool. But again, it's a little deep thinking. I already have a choice A which is coming very clean out, so I don't have to go in that much detail. Components management plan, component level work breakdown structure, definitely no. Now sometimes you think, oh, when I'm creating a portfolio management plan, I should have a component level plan already prepared, so I will just integrate it. I will do a bottom up planning and create a portfolio management plan. Please don't think like this. Yeah, so portfolio management planning, portfolio level strategization is a top down. It is starting from organization strategy and then it is coming to a portfolio level thing. The bottom up planning may happen over a period of time, and whenever the bottom level planning at a project level, program level planning will happen, we want to make sure they are fitting well. Yeah, so you are coming from the top, then there will be at a right time you will do a bottom planning, and we want to make sure we remain consistent. If there are some problems coming, we'll solve it. That's the mindset. Yeah, I know if you are working as a portfolio manager, you already know it. I just wanted to make it clear so that we are ready for our exam preparation. So yes, option A is the one which will work in this particular question. Question number 16. At the beginning of the year, you proposed a portfolio roadmap aligned with organization strategy. Now, in the mid of the year, in June, a highly critical component with strong ROI potential is scheduled to be initiated. Okay. Yeah. So we are in the mid of the year. To ensure it starts on time, what should you do? Okay. So you already have approved roadmap and it is done in the beginning of the year and you are starting as per the approved roadmap in the June. What should you do? Yeah, that's something is the question. How, in a simple word, how do you get started with a given component? Yeah. How do you, now if I change further language, how do you authorize a given component? That is something we are looking for. Let's see option A. Issue the component project charter so that team can begin work immediately. Possible. Yeah, if your governance group has defined that you alone can issue the portfolio charter, uh, uh, possible but unlikely. Usually we need to go through an authorization process that, everything is as per agreement, but still I want to take a governance approval before I initiate the component. Yeah, because it's a big step. Let's see option B. Submit an authorization request to the governance board as defined in the agreed upon model. Mostly looks great. Yeah, because I have a approval, I will follow. I should submit it on time so that governance board can review it. Now, on time could be 1 month before, 2 months before, depending upon our protocols. Not too early, because governance group also want to see the context in the based on the latest information. Yeah, we should not assume since you are starting and approving the roadmap in the January, why don't I take approval then only and I will initiate after 6 months? Yeah, there is a possibility some organization may do that, but in general, if I have a choice, I won't do it that way. I will do just in time. Now, maybe 1 month before, 2 months before, because during the next 4 or 5 months, new discoveries can happen. Yeah, so it may have an impact before we authorize it. So B looks good. Option C, work with the project manager to help prepare and obtain approval for the project charter. It's more or less like a A. Yeah. A is C is saying I will work with the project manager. We prepare the charter and then we'll get started. C was saying I will issue the project charter, but it is again getting into the action. Yeah. So B is giving me a governance view. Option D, identify the project team early and conduct a project kickoff meeting. It is going further beyond. Yeah, it's more than a charter. I says, it's something is getting delayed. Why don't I just get started? It's too fast. Yeah, let's not do that, and we focus on taking appropriate process with the help of our governance model. Yeah, so I need to take the authorization. Question number 17. You are creating a portfolio management plan and need to define the protocol, rules, and best practices that will guide portfolio execution. Where should you look to identify them? Yeah, so some guidance which can help you in defining your protocols, rules, and practices. Option A, ask stakeholders through survey and interview. I can do it, but I'm assuming they know it. Yeah. I am more experienced, expected to be more experienced in defining protocol, rules, and best practices at a portfolio level rather than I just asking survey. Survey and other things can definitely be done in order to understand stakeholder expectations, needs, feedback based on previous deliveries. Great idea. But asking the input for creating a protocol and procedure, you can do it, but not that common. Option B, study industry portfolio management standards. Yeah, good idea. You can study PMIS portfolio management standard that can help you in creating protocol, rules, and best practices. Apply your expert judgment. Possible. Yeah, that's there. Uh, yeah, but the idea is that you are looking to identify something, so better you don't jump into the expert judgment, but conduct a brainstorming session with the PMO. Yeah, so say this is also a candidate option, but I usually use my enterprise environmental factor and organization process asset to define and to start with protocol, rules, and best practices understanding. Yeah, that is something you can see in your ECO content. That is something you can see in your portfolio management standard. Now, somebody will say, where do you see it? There is a task. Yeah, there is a task for that. So task 2 clearly tells determine the portfolio management standard, protocol, rules, and best practices using organization assets and industry standards in order to establish consistent portfolio management practices. Yeah. So, yes, it could be without knowing the task also you can choose this option, I guess. Yeah, because it is pretty common sense. But if you are aware of those tasks, I need to get started with my enterprise environmental factor and organization process assets, and they are input for your portfolio management plan. The other way to look at it is that I need to see what are the inputs to a portfolio management plan and what are the tools and technique I am applying during portfolio management plan, and based on that also I can answer this particular question. But I think that's a little complicated, but still. Question number 18. You are tasked with establishing a portfolio governance model to ensure effective decision making and alignment with organization goals. Which of the following element would most likely to be included in the governance model? So similar kind of question, what is included in a governance management plan? What is included in a portfolio management plan? Here we are just simply asking what is expected to be part of a governance model. Yeah. Now you can play with the roles and elimination technique, or if you remember based on your tasks, then it is easy, or based on your standard, then it becomes more easy. Now, role of a steering committee, yes, roles and responsibility are part of governance. Governance rules, decision-making rules are definitely part of governance model. Yeah. So A looks good. Roles of a steering committee coming again. Organization strategy. We need to ensure governance guides alignment to the organization strategy. Yeah, that's there. But governance model, including the organization strategy, maybe you have an organization strategic plan. That's a special artifact. And from that strategic plan, you drive portfolio strategic plan. But unlikely that you put it as a part of a governance model. Option C, right authorities. Yes, yeah, you can put it. And the scope of the portfolio. The scope of the portfolio may not be a part of governance. Yeah, it will be a more in other artifacts. You see you as a charter and the later on the portfolio management plan in the detail. But overall governance, if I have to compare, I already have a option which is clean. Yeah, here I'm saying scope of the portfolio is little boundary possible, but not necessary. Decision making roles and lesson learned is definitely not part of it. Yeah, decision making models and roles are there. Yeah, so that way I can apply elimination and I can find out which one is part of governance model. Now again, there is a task which can help you in defining it. Define and establish governance model including structure, policies, decision making role, responsibility, rights, authority in order to support decision making and strategic objective. So the anything which is coming from here, yeah, in a little different words or something is good idea. Anything beyond that, I am applying my mind. There is a possibility, but if I don't have any good option which is clearly coming out of it, then I will think beyond that. Else I am good and I can move forward. Yeah. Now question number 19. As part of performance tracking, document management and reporting needs, you have evaluated options for a new portfolio management information system. You conducted demo, performed a cost benefit analysis, and identified the solution that best fits. The tool is already accounted for within the portfolio budget. What should you do next? So this question is asking, I am selecting or replacing PMIS. Yeah. And the current document thing, reporting things is not optimal. I'm using the new one. I have taken a demo and everything looks good. Yeah, and budget is also coming in our thing. So what should I do next? That's the idea. So say it is trying to see that do you go ahead and buy, or you take an approval from a governance group. Yeah, that's the only trap it is coming. This question is coming with, and you can see such kind of traps. So if I get an option, yeah, sometimes you don't have that clear option, but if the option is available, I want to recommend it. Yeah, the goal of most major job for me is recommendation. So I will recommend it and I will take an approval. That's the idea I am looking for. Let's see the option. Approve the purchase and direct IT to implement the new PMIS immediately. So it is too much. Yeah, there is a possibility in a governance model at some level of decisions I can make. It is a possibility. Yeah. But the question is not indicating. Question is trying to give you a trap that budget is already approved. Approval of the budget doesn't mean that you can initiate it. Yeah, that's the important difference we should keep in mind. Submit the recommendation through the governance model for review and approval. Easy, clear. Ask the component manager to start using the tool right away to test its effectiveness. We should go strategically. We can't just say, let's try it out. Yeah, there could be research you can do, but research better you do in the area as a part of your recommendation rather than you involve the component manager. Incorporate the PMIs into the portfolio management plan. You will incorporate it once it is agreed upon, once it is approved, once it is purchased. Yeah, you will definitely do that. But first you need to get it. And in order to get it, you need to put a recommendation, take an approval, and then go for it. Yeah. So that's a mindset which helps me score above target in governance domain. Final question for this domain, and we will complete the 20 questions. Your organization recently approved a new portfolio after updating the strategic plan. You have now been tasked with setting up the process and governance to ensure the portfolio is managed consistently. Okay. As a part of this effort, you are reviewing the existing organization structure to decide how roles and responsibilities should be aligned in order to support effective portfolio execution and oversight. Which technique are you applying? Yeah. So here, the overall idea is, what is the process? Yeah. You are applying a process of, you are in the process of develop portfolio management plan. Yeah. Because governance model is also part of portfolio management planning. So that's there. Now, what are the tools and techniques of develop portfolio management plan? So you can say there are elicitation technique, integration of portfolio management plan, and portfolio organization structure analysis. Yeah. Other than C, A, B, C, A, B, D are tools and technique. Yeah. You can refer to the content. Now, once I'm clear there, then I need to understand, okay, which type of work is happening and which technique can help me in doing that work. So the work is talking about roles and responsibility, organization structure, and aligning the portfolio organization structure with the organization structure. Where do we do all this? Option D, develop portfolio organization structure analysis. And that way I can find my answer. So if you are already done with your exam, please share your observation in the comment area. If you have any specific query related to the questions which we shared, do put a comment. We can discuss about them. If you need assistance in your application or in preparing for portfolio management certification, connect with us. We do have options to make your preparation faster.